Good evening, Campbells, and welcome back. I'm Joshua Davis.
And I'm Abby DeBoer. This is Campbell Now. A first dose only vaccine clinic at the Crown Expo Center in Fayetteville will ramp up vaccinations before they open for the next phase. The clinic will issue the Moderna vaccine between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eligible patients include senior citizens and long-term staff and residents of healthcare facilities. Today's clinic will work on a first-come, first-served basis while supplies last. Drive-through COVID vaccinations will take place at the same site on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays by appointment only. Appointments can be made online starting between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. After 3 p.m., vaccinations will be available for people without appointments if supplies allow. On February 24th, Group 3, which includes non-medical essential workers, will be able to get vaccinated for the first time.
New CDC guidelines say individuals that have been fully vaccinated against COVID no longer need to quarantine if they're exposed to the coronavirus. People that have had both shots with at least 2 weeks passed since their second shot meet the CDC's criteria for being fully vaccinated. However, the CDC is not sure how long the protection will last. Those who have received their final shot after 3 months or more are recommended to quarantine if they're exposed. Other CDC recommendations remain in place for fully vaccinated people. They include wearing masks, social distancing, avoiding crowds, and poorly ventilated spaces.
For the first time since November, the average new daily coronavirus infections in the U.S. fell under 100,000. The new number is well below the average infection rate in December and January, according to Johns Hopkins University. Researchers reported the new totals were slightly over 83,000 new infections. These figures are well below the average daily infection rate of 200,000 cases in December and nearly 250,000 cases in January. Despite the new numbers, health experts are cautious in celebrating a turning point for the pandemic.
A new sign-up window has opened today for health insurance through the government insurance markets, also known as Obamacare. The new sign-up window runs through May 15th in most states, and last month, President Joe Biden ordered the government to reopen their health insurance markets. The order comes after the annual enrollment period that ended in December. The health insurance is available for those who have recently lost their insurance or cannot find a plan last year. Individuals' income that is between 100% and 400% of the federal poverty level are eligible to receive payment assistance. The assistance comes in the form of tax credits. People are required to estimate their annual income, and people who receive more aid than they should by estimating too low will be required to pay back all or part of the assistance come tax time.
Former President Donald Trump is focusing on his next projects after escaping conviction in his second impeachment trial. A group of 57 senators voted to convict Trump, and 43 senators voted to acquit. With 2/3 of the Senate necessary to convict, the vote fell 10 short of the required supermajority. 7 GOP senators voted with the Democrats to vote Trump guilty of incitement of insurrection. Senator Mitt Romney of Utah was the only GOP senator to vote against Trump in each of the impeachment trials. Even though his troubles with lawmakers are apparently over, Trump is still under investigation in 2 states. He has not been charged with any crime at this time.
Russia is threatening to cut ties with the European Union if they receive any economic sanctions for detaining a popular opposition leader. The comments made by Russian leaders mark a rise in pressure between the two sides. The announcement comes on the same day Alexei Navalny appeared in court to face slander charges that he has denounced as politically motivated. In August, Navalny narrowly survived a poisoning that is seen by many as an attempted assassination by the Kremlin. Navalny was jailed upon his return from Germany, where he was receiving treatment after the attack. Last night, Russians protested Navalny's arrest by shining their smartphone lights outside their houses.
Mardi Gras parades have been canceled this year in an effort to help slow the spread of COVID. Residents of New Orleans are finding creative ways to celebrate the festivities. Some homeowners are decorating their properties as floats. There are roughly 3,000 house floats in the New Orleans area alone.
The recent cold front is leaving thousands without power. Duke Power has said that more than 153,000 homes are experiencing power outages. For the Campbell area, we'll be facing the cold weather and rain, with a chance of ice, freezing rain, and potentially some flurries. The Raleigh area temperature is expected to stay around 31 to 32 degrees. If temperatures continue to drop, we'll have more chances of experiencing ice and snow. We'll take a short break, and Madison and Drew will be back in a moment with sports.
Welcome back, Camels. I'm Drew Ellis.
And I'm Madison Thompson. Campbell Athletics is back and rolling after COVID-19 shut down all sports. Almost all fall sports were postponed last semester due to the pandemic, and now those teams and the others who lost their seasons earlier in 2020 will finally get the chance to be back in action. The university issued a statement this past week that will allow a limited number of spectators at outdoor sporting events. This is limited to students, faculty, and staff. Volleyball had a big opening week with 2 sweeps against USC Upstate and Asheville. Finally, keep an eye out for swimming as they close their season out at the CCSA Championships February 14th through the 17th.
The men's basketball team secured a 64-49 victory this weekend over the South Carolina Upstate Spartans. Cedric Henderson scored a game-high 22 points, while Jordan Whitfield added another 15 points and grabbed 8 rebounds. The men are now 2-0 against the Spartans, which extends their win streak to 4 in a row. The men will face off February 18th and 19th for back-to-back away games at Hampton University. A lot has happened this week in Week 12. Who did you have as your team of the week, Madison?
My team of the week is the Creighton Blue Jays. It took them a few months to hit their stride, but if you're going to start to play your best basketball, this is the time to do it. They've won 6 of their last 7 games, and their success started earlier this week with a 15-point win over Georgetown, and they also had a huge victory over Villanova. Who was yours?
My team of the week was Michigan after they knocked off the Wisconsin Badgers 67-59. They were led by senior forward Isaiah Livers, and the Wolverines shot 40% from the field and 41% from three-point range. So they look pretty good as they're about to lock up the #1 seed in their NCAA bracket. But Madison, back to me. The NCAA has revealed that their top 16 teams this week, which are on the list, stood out to you the most.
A team that stood out to me the most was Missouri. They came in at number 16, and in my opinion, they're a little bit underrated. I think something that's unique about Missouri is that they are an older team and have a lot of maturity. And also, like Creighton, they're starting to play some of their best basketball. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do down the stretch, and I think that maturity will be a huge advantage for them.
Well, for me, the team that stood out the most, it's funny that you say it's maturity because Villanova displays this perfectly. They are led by 2 seniors, 2 juniors, and a sophomore. As even though they lost to Creighton this week, they did a really good job playing defense, and I would expect nothing less from Jay Wright. So you can expect them to lock up the #2 seed in your bracket this year, and hopefully they make it to the Final Four. Madison, back to you.
With Week 12 all wrapped up, what matchup are you most excited for next week?
Next week, I would have to go with Michigan versus Ohio State. It is another Big Ten rivalry games, and they both have great forwards that are doing a great job this year of scoring points and getting rebounds. What about you, Madison?
A game that I'm really looking forward to is the Baylor-Oklahoma game. Baylor has not played a game since its February 2nd win at Texas due to COVID-19 issues. And Oklahoma and Baylor are both ranked teams, so I'm super excited to see that matchup and see Baylor back on the court after 5 postponed games.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you for joining us on Campbell Now. Check us out on social media at Campbell CUTV. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and share what you think about today's topics. We hope to see you again next week. And until then, I'm Drew Ellis.
And I'm Madison Thompson. This is Campbell Now.